Now, Kieran, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but from Indiana to County Tyrone, our next reader prefers Mr. Kipling to Rudyard Kipling and reckons that the Bramley anthology is exceedingly good. Bully boss, go on, give Kieran a round of applause there. Kieran McGurk, come on up here, Kieran, if you want. Kieran is, where are you, Kieran? Oh, aye. Kieran is from Cregan, County Tyrone, and it's among that county's notorious bushes that his story is set. Tonight, Kieran here is reading Le Petit Marchal. Kieran.
Le Petit Marchal. There is very little known about Le Petit Marchal. Some experts insist it was a creature of folklore. Others believe it to be extinct. The smallest bird on earth has never been pictured or filmed in its whinbush habitat, even with fibre optic cameras. And because of the microscopic nature of its eggs, it has been impossible to rear any in captivity. Le Petit Marchal is also known as the Irish thicket cricket because of its chirping call and the increasing intensity of its pitch when the weather gets warm. Pious Crozier had a population of them behind the byre on his farm. He could hear them most evenings in the summer, but the pleasure was his and his alone. Pius had invited over a dozen ornithologists and wildlife people in as many occasions to listen to the chirping, but every time the visitors came, the birds fell silent. And with each disappointment, the bachelor farmer feared gaining a reputation as a hoaxer. For that reason, he stopped talking about them. Because of Brexit, Pius's hill farm subsidies dried up, and it became impossible to make any money. Meal, fuel, equipment became more expensive. He sold his jeep and cut away all his personal expenditure. It made no difference at all to the conclusion of the meeting with his accountant. "Your farm is just too small," advised Mr. Crouch. "Economy of scale and all that. Get out now when the land is still worth something. You're lucky never married. Agatha and I can only afford childcare 3 days a week." He bounced his daughter on his knee as he spoke. She had become fed up with the toys on the office floor. "Go home," blurted the toddler. "Go hard, go home." "It's something she's heard on the television," explained Crouch. "Go hard or go home. Funny how they pick things up." "Is it?" said Pius. The saying pinged inside the farmer's head as he walked up the lane to his farmhouse. As soon as he went in, he fished out a writing pad and composed an epistle. It fitted inside the last envelope of the packet. He gave it to the postman that afternoon, along with a handful of coppers for the stamp. The postie chuckled with the local postmistress as he passed the letter across. "Poor Pius," she sighed as she fixed on the stamp. The addressee sliced the envelope open. His secretary opened his mail normally, but she balked at this one. It looked different. "Personal," she said, "like something that was lost for a while." Perhaps it was the grubbiness of the edges, the old-style handwriting. She felt justified when her boss became engrossed in it. Pius waited the calendar month, then rummaged out an aerial picture of his farm for the estate agent. He slept badly, piggy in the middle between self-criticism and memories. At first he thought it was a dream, but then heard, for the second time, definitely, most definitely, the sound of human breathing. He lay rigid, regretting now that he had never locked the door. Then the strike of a match, the outline of a gaunt yet kindly face and a flame merging into a candle in the intruder's hand. I came as quickly as I could and as quietly. The wistfulness of the whisper was exactly as Pius remembered. No, don't get up, said the man, and he sat on the bottom of the bed. Tell me all about Le Petit Marchal. Pius told how the whin bush got the full belt of sunshine, how it was sheltered from the north. He mimicked the birds and conducted out their summer crescendos, then finished with the disappointment of how they became muted whenever any strangers went near the byre. It's the roots, commented the visitor. The bird's hearing is excellent, but it's by sensing the teeniest vibrations through the roots of the plant that they know they're being observed. And by golly, they hate that. I brought your farm up on Google Earth and approached from the opposite side to the byre. I wore special Wellingtons, spring and rubber sole, and I hushed across the fields in the dead of night. Was all that necessary? Asked Pius. Surely you... Emphatically yes, and I'll leave the same way. I have a proposition first, though. It's nothing to do with bed, said Pius, is it? Oh heavens, no. I want to appoint you as guardian of the whin bush and the little kingdom within it. This could be the only chance of finding out more about Le Petit Marchal. We honestly don't know where they are, and it'll be some time before our equipment is sensitive enough to record them, if it ever is. We have minute systems for recording insect life, but I would guess that what we need here could be 2 or 3 years away. We have to keep this secret, though. You operate your farm the way you always have, but really, the less disturbance around our little friends, the better. The thing is, confessed Pius, I'm broke. The farm loses money. I'm ready to sell up. Oh no, that can't happen. Goodness knows what would become of them. Because there is no evidence of Le Petit Marchal's existence, we can't invoke any sort of protection order. I can pay you, though, from my foundation. £40,000 per annum. How does that sound? Just to make sure nothing happens to birds or their habitat. Is that all right? It sounds better than all right, said Pius. Will you do something else? Anything I can, replied the man. Pius put on his pyjamas underneath the duvet, then padded to the kitchen. He returned with a pen and 2 box sets, Planet Earth and Blue Planet. I didn't know what to call you, he said. Sir or Lord. Is there any way you could sign these? They both stifled a laugh. Husky chortles came through all the same. You afraid I'll croak soon? Said the visitor. Just call me David. He wrote a personal message to Pius on each cover. I've always been a fan, said Pius. I'll be wondering if I've imagined all this. If these are autographed, at least I know you were definitely here. With that, Sir David Attenborough left Pius's farm. 3 years later, the film was accomplished and is the opening programme of Tiny Wonders on BBC One this Sunday evening. The location of Pius's farm has been kept secret to protect the birds.